Good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, you can just make use of the comment section. If you can hear me and if you can see me, just make use of the comment section. If you can hear me, welcome. Good evening, everyone. Can just see one person on the call. If you can hear me, you can just make use of the comment section. Let me know who this person is. A lot of persons have been coming in and going out. If you can hear me, just make use of the comment section. Hi, Ken. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know. Just use the chat box. Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're just going to get straight into what we have for today. And if you know anyone that needs to be on this call, so this is like basic for business owners. This is also for people who are entrepreneurial, they have a desire to start a business. Um, so one of the things I've come to understand is that what it takes to start is different from what it takes to scale. So many people do business and they just do business because they want to make money. And in as much as business is an avenue or a tool or a system to make money, if that's the only motive you have to do business, then there's going to there's going to be a disconnect, and then you may end up um, closing one business, starting another, closing another, and then you feel like the reason why you're not doing well is because of the business. No, any business can prosper. Anybody can prosper in any business. You just need to have the right tools. And when we talk about tools, we're not necessarily talking about chat GPT or you know social media. All of that is important, having a website and the rest. But I always like to see tools, or I always like to see tools as anything that can serve as leverage or leverage. And that's exactly what I want to talk about this evening. So, anyways, my name is Carlos Nwabueze, and I'm a growth strategist. I'm also the founder of Linkspeed Global Solutions. And over the past 6 years, I have trained more than 6,000 business owners and career professionals around conversations that talk about productivity, business, leadership, technology, um, digital marketing, and all of that. In 2019, I worked with Google to educate Africans on digital marketing skills. And then somewhere in 2022, I worked with a couple of international organizations in the crypto market to train Africans on how to make use of how to trade the financial market as relating to crypto. And I've also done a lot of trainings around productivity, business, and the rest. And so I don't have all the knowledge and experience. I'm just here to share the little I know that has helped me over the years. And then I've also worked as a business manager for big businesses, small businesses, and I can tell you that I know a little bit about what makes business owners struggle and employees as well. Okay, so I'm just going to dive straight into our conversation for people that would come back to listen to the recording. Okay, so by the end of this webinar, you not just know why businesses struggle, but there are systems that you can put in place to ensure that you find yourself executing at the level that will produce the kind of results you want to see in your business. Okay, so I remember in 2019, after I graduated from Uniport, I finished from Uniport, and so one of the things I was doing at the time after I graduated was I was selling coconut oil. So I discovered that there are two kinds of business owners, or there are two kinds of entrepreneurs rather. And it's important that when you want to embark on entrepreneurship, you need to know the kind of entrepreneur you are. So there are, I like to call them farmers, and then there are also seeders. I learned this from my mentor as far back as 2019. It's about 6 years ago. So farmers and seeders. So seeders are the entrepreneurs that bring the idea. So if you're listening to me right now and you're that kind of entrepreneur that you always have new ideas, you always have new ideas. You wake up every morning with one new idea or the other, but many times when it comes to executing, you don't have as much, I wouldn't say energy. You may be energetic, but you need to understand that the energy that brings the idea is different from the energy that executes the idea. So you can have idea, you can bet ideas, and you are a seeder. But then there's a farmer. A farmer is someone that cultivates this idea. So a farmer is like the structure guy. A farmer is the guy that brings the idea and is able to put systems and structures around that idea to ensure that execution is possible. Okay, and then there's also the farmer is also the marketer. The seeder is the guy that has the skill. So the seeder, the guy that either has the skill, loves to work with their hands, loves to create. The farmer, on the other hand, is the guy that, aside just putting structure and systems, hiring, accounting, bookkeeping, recording progress, reflecting, iterating, aside all of that, the farmer is also the guy that executes. So he will say, okay, what are we working on? Then he's going to look for the um, next client. So that's the farmer. Now, a lot of business owners struggle with execution because they are good with producing, they are good with manufacturing, they are good with their hands, they are good with doing the baking, they are good with and let me also say this, many times there are also business owners that can do both, right? They get the idea and they can execute. Okay, but then again, it takes a lot of training. You have to like train your mind, you have to psych your mind, you have to prepare yourself to be able to function in the other area. So if you can't get yourself a co-founder, then you want to prepare your mind to be able to execute at areas that are not so stronger. And so when I was selling coconut oil in 2019, how did I get to start selling coconut oil? I discovered that I was the farmer. I'm the guy that would take an idea, put structure around it, market it, get clients. But when it comes to getting the idea, say for example, the coconut oil partner I had, he was good at producing great coconut oil products, coconut oil, orange oil, lemon oil, whatever. I did not know how to do any of that. But I discovered that I could talk, I could market, I could sell it. And so I told him, all right, let's get into a partnership, let's collaborate. You produce and then I sell. So we started doing it, I started making money. But before then, this guy was struggling with sales. He was good at producing and manufacturing the product, but he didn't know how to meet people. But I was good at meeting people, but I didn't know how to just sit at one place to produce. So one of the reasons why business owners feel at execution is this reason. So if you can't get yourself a co-founder, then you now want to get yourself a business growth partner. You want to get yourself a business growth partner. Many times you can get business growth agencies that can help you market, help you sell, help you manage your social media, help you do all of the necessary work. So for example, you're in baking or you cook. The fact that you're good at cooking does not mean you'll be good at selling your food. They are two different things. Cooking is different from marketing the food that you're cooking. And so if you keep struggling, if you don't understand that the most important part of a business is not manufacturing but marketing, maybe you want to write that down. So you need to know, where are you? Where do you fall? So I discovered early that I was not the hands-on guy that wants to manufacture, but I want to sell. I want to talk. I want to communicate. I want to relate with the customers, the clients. Okay. And so I just discovered on time that, okay, I'm the business development guy. Just bring the idea and then help structure it. Okay. So number two, why business owners fail at execution. Number one is that business owners don't distinguish their category. So you need to ask yourself, if you can hear me right now, you need to ask yourself, am I a farmer or am I a seeder? Like seeder, or a sower, whatever. Are you a sower or are you a farmer? So a sower is the person that just plants the seed, the person that has the skill, the person that brings the idea. And then the farmer is the guy that executes, right? So it's important that you get leverage so you don't spend so much time building a product that you cannot sell. Number two, why business owners fail at execution is that they lack depth. D-E-P-T-H, no depth. So I remember in 2021, after I came back from NYSC, I've shared this story a lot of times, and whenever I remember the story, it reminds me of the fact that strategy will always beat energy anytime. You want to write that down. Strategy will always beat energy anytime. Strategy will always beat energy anytime. Let me explain. So when I came back from NYSC, all I wanted to do was make money. All I wanted to do was just do something, start a business, And so I had that hustler mentality, which is not a good mindset to have when you want to make money or when you want to build anything. And so I started asking. First question I asked was, what is giving people money right now? And that is a mistake a lot of people make. You want to start a business, you have some time, you have some capital. The wrong question to ask is, which business can I start now? And you're asking people, what can I do to make money? No. If you ask that question, then you're going to start on the wrong note. Right? And so my friend told me, guy, what did they pay now Uber? I'm like, Uber? Oh yeah, now no wahala. And so I renewed my driver's license, and then I started driving Bolt. I was making peanuts. So along the line, while I was driving, because I still had the mindset of waiting they pay now, a friend of mine invited me for a crypto event. And then I started learning crypto in addition to driving. And as a Bolt driver, anytime you're not driving, you're not making money. And so all my attention was on driving and not necessarily learning crypto. But then I was just finding some time to attend events and the crypto events and then learn one or two things. While I was learning, I discovered I could also learn Forex. So now I was driving Uber, I was learning crypto, I was learning Forex. You see, no depth in any of them. And so while I was driving, I found the opportunity to sell cars. Now, by the way, my brand name, Link Speed, came up as far back as 2019 when I was selling coconut oil. Right? And so when I started selling cars, I thought to myself, okay, I can start the business of selling cars. And so I designed a logo, Link Speed Automobile. No depth. All I was doing was I was connecting people that wanted to buy cars with people that wanted to sell. So I was like a middleman. And so the first deal I did, I made some money. And I'm like, oh, there's actually money in this thing. What I will make from one deal as profit, I would have to drive for 1 week to make that amount of money at the time. And so I thought to myself, oh, money did this thing, let me push it. And so I was pushing, and then I was still making more money. And then something happened. I wanted to invest in a particular cryptocurrency, and one of the things that they did not tell me then was that I needed to do my research. So doing my research means I would have to go to CoinMarketCap. I would have to check the market capitalization. I'll need to go to Twitter, look for what people are saying about that token, just basically do my research. I didn't understand any of that. All I wanted was to make money. So I invested. I made profit from selling cars. So I invested all of the money into crypto. And after like 24 hours, I lost 50% of the money because I did not do my research. And so, as fate will have it, After we sold the car, my business partner called me the next day and said, Carlos, the person that bought this car said he doesn't want the car anymore, that he needs a refund. And he asked me to refund the money. By then, I'd already invested the money into crypto, and then I had lost 50% of it, meaning the coin I bought had dipped. It was difficult for me to tell him the money is not available, because how do I explain that I get this money 24 hours and I lost the money? And so I just had to find a way, asked him to help me pay, and then I was going to pay him back. And that's how I went into debt. Now, before the end of that year, I found myself driving, I found myself trading crypto, investing in crypto. I found myself trading forex. I found myself selling cars. I found myself selling laptops, selling iPhones. I had 7 streams of income, hustling in all of them, but none was sustainable. I was literally broke. Now, I always like to say this: being broke does not mean a lack of money. It just means lack of systems. If you're a business owner, your business is making you money, but then you're not profitable, you don't have a system that generates money consistently for you, then it, it's not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable. That was exactly where I was in 2021. By the end of the year, the car I was driving went bad, and so I couldn't drive again. At that point, I was frustrated. I had to go back to God, a place of prayer, and then I asked, what exactly do you want me to focus on? And that is why today I'm a big advocate of focus. I'm a big advocate of following one course until successful, because I've been at a point in my life where, because I had energy, I was doing so many things at the same time and nothing was working. Nothing was working. You need to now understand the difference between motion and movement. That you're in motion does not mean you are moving, right? It's like going to the treadmill at the gym. The fact that you're on the treadmill, you're in motion, does not mean you are moving. You're just at a spot. A lot of business owners are in motion, but they are not moving. They are not making progress. And I'm going to show you in this live webinar how you can set systems and structures in place to make movement. So what does it mean to go deep? It means to fully explore the opportunities you have currently. So if you say you want to learn AI, for example, what you want to do is you want to go as deep into learning AI and not distracting yourself with other opportunities. So there are 3 categories of persons that are listening to me right now. You're either a business owner, or you're a freelancer, or you're just somebody with a business idea and you're yet to start. So let me address business owner. Say you're a business owner and then you have a product that you sell. So I would advise that you learn as much as you can about that one product, and then you get to know as much as you can about your target audience, about your ideal client. You see, because people don't buy products, people buy solutions, and nobody would buy your product if you are not able to communicate that product in such a way that it's when people hear about your product, they know that this person is talking to me. And it takes a lot of time. It takes you to sit down at one point and really do a lot of research. It's not just about making a product. You need to find that pain point or that pleasure point. Pain point or pleasure point. And for you to do that, you need to go deep. You need to explore that opportunity. You need to explore that opportunity. So this is what I want us to do. This is what I want us to do this month. I want you to pick one opportunity. Just one opportunity. If you've been doing a lot this year, just close your eyes to every other opportunity and focus on one. Just focus on one. If you want to double your income this month, then you need to be blind to every other opportunity except one. So find that one opportunity, then set a goal in line with that opportunity. So if you're a business owner, you sell wigs, for example, don't try to spread yourself too wide. Maybe because you The fact that you see an opportunity does not mean you should jump on that opportunity, because for you to benefit from any opportunity, you need to impute some level of effort, and effort comprises of time, energy, attention, and resources. So when you see an opportunity, don't be in a hurry to execute on it. Just have an idea or an opportunity book. Have an opportunity book or have a Google Doc and you title it opportunities and ideas. So when an idea comes to your mind, you don't plan on executing immediately. You're just keeping it there, more like an idea bank or an opportunity bank, so that you can focus only on one. So you have two Google Docs, one which is the opportunity you are working on right now, or the opportunity you want to explore, and then the other one is an idea bank or an opportunity bank, where you're just dropping all the ideas that come to your mind. The idea is you don't want to be distracted. What you want to do now is, when you say, okay, what I want to do is focus on this my wig business, or this my coconut oil business, or this my cake business, or whatever it is, just focus on it, right? Any idea that is in line with growing that business is known as a depth idea. Any idea that does not align with this business should come here, which is spread idea. If you're going to double your income, you need to double down on your focus on one thing. I promise you, that is how billionaires make their money. Elon Musk did not start SpaceX the same day he started Tesla, right? So you need to go deep. I always like to make use of the fruit-bearing tree analogy. And that is exactly what nature teaches us. Nature teaches us focus. So that seed is the idea. When you sow that seed into the soil, it germinates, it gains roots, the root goes down. As the root goes down, the tree starts to formulate. And then as the tree grows, it forms a stem. The stem now branches out. The branch produces flower or produces leaves. Then the leaf starts producing fruits. So it's a process. I've made that mistake in the past, and at this phase of my life, I can't make that mistake anymore. No matter the idea you bring to me right now, I'm just going to put it here. And there's always a time to explore opportunities. Know when to explore opportunities and know when to go deep on opportunities. So point number three, why business owners fail at execution is that inability to say no. Inability to say no. Maybe you want to write that down. Inability to say no. So if you find it difficult to say no to people that you respect, or when you find it difficult to say no to opportunities that come to you, then you would always have difficulty with execution. Because I've come to understand that execution is a byproduct of mentality, is a byproduct of mental energy. So you cannot execute consistently if your mind is not saturated with the information you need to execute at that thing. Okay, so you must come to that point where you can easily say no to anybody. You can easily say no to opportunities. You can easily say no to people. Something happened this year. I gained some form of momentum in my business, and so somewhere around April, I got this virtual gig to work as a business manager, because I love to because I'm a farmer, in quotes. If you've been following this conversation, I mentioned the fact that a farmer, as an entrepreneur, is someone that can get an idea and put systems and structures around it to help it scale. So I work with a lot of business owners to do that. And so I got this opportunity to work with a brand as a business manager. And while I was doing that, I got a call from somebody I respect, and then she wanted me to manage an event for her in Port Harcourt, a big event. Now, at the time, I had this mindset of, okay, there are some certain persons in my life that I can't say no to. I respect people a lot, and there are times in your life where you need to know that, okay, now it's time for me to focus. I need to make everybody around me understand that I want to go deep, and then I won't be available. By the time I thought, okay, there are some persons in my life I couldn't say no to, and I thought I could manage what they wanted me to do with my job and my business. And so I said, okay, no wahala, I was going to do it. Along the line, it was for 7 days. Day one was okay. I was able to still do my work and do my business, and also attend to. I was working as an event manager for 7 days for that particular event. And so day one was okay, no stress, no pressure. Day two, same thing. By day three, John would done the mature. By day three, the event I was managing was now taking a lot of my time because the day for the event was approaching. The setup was getting more intense. I was not giving as much time to my job and my business. By day five, all my attention, all my time, all my energy went into this event. And by then, I had lost momentum. I had lost momentum in my business. I had lost momentum in my job. You see, and it made me fail at execution in this area. I was not playing with my time. I had just channeled my energy, my time, and my attention to something else. And I believed a lie that I could manage all of these things at the same time. And that is one disadvantage of people with energy, is that we think we can do so many things at the same time and do it well. But it's a lie. You can't do so many things and do it well. Something will suffer. The idea of work-life balance as a young person does not make any sense. You must find out one thing and give it your best shot. See, let me share this with you. If you look at anybody that is doing well, anybody you admire in any industry, whether it's business, whether it's career, whether it's leadership, anything at all, like they are doing really well, they are crushing it at global stage. If you watch them carefully, you'd realize that they are focused on that thing. They are not distracted with so many opportunities. So you need to come to that point in your life where there's one thing that no matter what happens, nobody can take you away from it. And it takes 70% of your time. It takes 70% of your energy, 70% of your attention, 70% of your money. Let me give a simple example. Let's say you sell wigs, and then an opportunity comes for you to do maybe 3 or 4 other things. And then you have the mindset that you can do well at all of them. And then, but right now, you have competitors that sell wigs, but then all they do is sell wigs. And then all of you have 100K to run ads. The guy that has just one focus of selling wig, or the lady that has one focus of selling wig, would outperform you. Why? Because you have the mindset of, I'm selling wig, but I have 4 other businesses that need my time, 4 other businesses that need my energy, 4 other businesses that need my attention, 4 other businesses that need my money to run ads. And so you are splitting it 25K across 4 of these businesses. But that other lady is just putting all 100K in ads. She's going to make more money than you. You may think you're executing, but you're failing at execution. Execution is not just action. Execution, the right execution demands 4 things. Number 1, it demands focus, it demands strategy, it demands determination, and it demands consistency. That is execution. If you're not focused on one thing, if you're not consistent with one thing, if you're not determined that this new month I'm going to double my income, if you don't have that determination with that one thing, you'll be distracted with so many other things. And so there's this service that I offer business owners. It's called 10x Productivity Club. And at 10x Productivity Club, one of the things we tell business owners and clients that work with us is that there's just only one thing you have to focus on this month. just one thing. And then when they say, okay, I want to focus on this particular business, we jump on a call with them and we break down everything they need to do from the 1st of September till the last day of September, with a couple of other tools that we give to them that help them focus. The last edition we had was mind blowing. One of our clients had about less than 20 followers on Facebook for her business, and then she said her goal um, was to grow it to 100. And we said, okay, no wahala, would help you do it, guys. In less than 3 weeks, because of the 10x Productivity Club, she grew from, I think, 20 or less than 40 followers to about, I can't remember now, I think about 300 or 400, because of the tools and because of the accountability that we're able to provide. That's execution, focus, consistency, strategy, determination. Please, if you can hear me, you can just make use of the comment section. Let me know that I'm not alone. If you can hear me, if you can see me, just drop a message on the comment section and let me know. I can hear you, just so I can hear you. If you can hear me. If you can hear me. Anyone, can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, just say I can hear you. Make use of the chat bot. Can anybody hear me? Or am I alone? Can you hear me? Anyways, from my end, I can see that my audio is clear. I can see that my audio is clear. So let me just continue. Okay, I want you to write this down. Yes to others is no to your own goals. And when you say no to others, you're saying yes to your goals. When you say yes to other people, you're saying no to what is important to you. But when you say no to others, you're saying yes to what is important to you. So you see, it's very important that you say no to others, and so that you can say yes to yourself. All right. So point number four. Why business owners fail at execution: lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. And when the vision is not clear enough, the path will be blurry. When the vision is not clear enough, the path will be blurry. So let me use this illustration. Have you ever been in a public transport, a public vehicle at night, and then under heavy rain, you're going home after a long day walk, and under this very, very heavy rain, the taxi driver does not have air condition, and then he needs to wind up so that everybody in the vehicle, is safe from the rain falling. What happens after a while? You start to see mist covering the windshield, right? And then, to make matters worse, if the headlamp of this taxi is not bright enough, it will be very difficult for the taxi driver to see what is ahead. So it makes him drive really slow so he doesn't get, into an accident. You see, so blur vision leads to slow pace for the driver, right? And that's exactly how it is with execution. If you lack clarity as to what you want to achieve, if you lack clarity as to what you need to do to achieve that particular goal, then it will be difficult for you to execute. So lack of clarity usually leads to poor execution. So many business owners fail because they lack clarity as to what they want. So you come into the new month and you don't have a goal, a specific goal Or let's say you have a goal, but the goal is not clear enough. So what is your goal for the month? Your goal, if you say your goal is to make more money, but then again, you don't know how much money you want to make. You don't know how many customers will give you the amount of money. You don't know how you're going to get those customers that will give you the amount of money. Then execution will become an issue. Many people procrastinate because of lack of execution, right? So if you don't make the vision clear, there's that scripture that says, make the vision, write the vision, make it plain, so that they that read will be able to run. If the vision is not clear enough, you won't be able to run with it. So you come into the new month, what exactly do you want to achieve? How do you want to achieve it? So breaking it down into steps, just sitting there and breaking it down can help you double your income, right? So quickly, let's talk about the steps that you need to take. Steps, three systems to put in place. Three systems to put in place. Number one, you need a clarity system. You need a clarity system. You need a system to help you decide what matters, what is important to you. When you have five interests, you're interested in five things, or you're interested in three things, right? You have three ideas for your business. How do you know which one is the most important? It's called the clarity system. So um, I watched a short video clip of Elon Musk. Somebody was being interviewed and they asked him about Elon Musk, and he talked about something called noise to signal ratio. Noise to signal ratio. And what's noise to signal ratio? So noise to signal ratio is a ratio that talks about what is important versus what is urgent versus daily activities. So if you're going to double your income, you need to understand how the Pareto principles work with your business. So what is that 20% activity that produces 80% of the results you see in your business? So for example, basic 20% activity that produces 80% of your results is marketing, sales. So if you're a business owner, if you focus 80% of your time on 20% of the activity that produces 80% of the results, then it is guaranteed that you double your income. Many times a lot of us don't really record activities that take place in our business. So it's difficult for us to even scale. You see, so if you're struggling with income generation, it's because you're not investing as much time in marketing and sales activity. You're not talking to your already existing customers as much as you should. You're not running or investing in advertisement. You're not doing that particular thing that affects your bottom line. If you spend so much time iterating your products or your service, if you spend so much time learning or upskilling, but then you're not spending so much time in marketing, you're not going to get people to patronize you. So clarity system, decide what matters. Number two, execution system. You need to have like daily and weekly reading. You need to have like I like to call it your MIT, your most important task. So what you're going to be doing every day, what you're going to be doing every week for your business, right? And then you also need to have like a reading register. So what does that mean? So you need to have like a Google Sheet where you're able to monitor your progress. Did you do what you said you were going to do today? You tick it. If you do not do it, you exit. With that, you can monitor how you're showing up. Many times we think we are working on our business, but we are just being distracted with the noise. So I was sharing that story of Elon Musk, how that this guy said Elon was it Elon Musk? No, it was Steve Jobs, rather. Steve Jobs. The noise to signal ratio. Jobs would spend 80% of his time on signal. Signal is simply those three things that matter the most in your business. And I've also come to understand that when it comes to execution, you can only do one thing at a time. You can't do more than one. You can't do more than one. So with GPT, We have a lot of ideas to execute, but you can't execute on all of that idea at the same time. You can only execute on one at a time. So, one of the ways you can double your income this month is to always ask yourself, so what is the most important use of my time right now? Or what are the top three activities that if I work on today, right now? You're not even thinking next 90 days, you're not thinking next 30 days, you're not even thinking tomorrow. You're thinking right now. What can I do right now that will take my business to the next level? That's intentionality. If you are not as intentional to ask yourself, what can I do right now that will take my business to the next level, you struggle. You find yourself doing so many things because truth is there are so many things to do, but you don't have time to do all of it. Successful people have the same 24 hours that average people have, but what differentiates successful people from average people is the fact that successful people always ask themselves, what are the top three activities I need to focus on right now that will take my business forward? It's just that simple. And then finally, optimization system. So optimization system just means that you need to have a system where you are recording your progress, where you can monitor your progress, and when you can also iterate. So you should have a document for reflection. At the end of the day, how do you reflect on what happened during the day? And it needs to cut across different sides of your business. So in terms of income, how much did you make? How much expense did you make? In terms of operations, um did I focus on the most important tasks, or was I just doing all of those noisy activities as they were coming? Did I spend all my time just attending to customer query? You see, if you have the kind of business that generates a lot of customers on a weekly basis, they will always have questions for you. So one of the things you can do, this is just like a hint, one of the things you can do that would help you save time is to create an FAQ. FAQ is like frequently asked questions. Many small businesses don't do that. Clients ask you the same questions, customers ask you the same question over and over again. You should have an FAQ, frequently asked question, that can attend to your clients. And by the way, um, I run a business growth agency, and one of the things we do is we offer AI automation services. So we can install a chatbot and then insert all of this FAQ into that chatbot. And then when any customer sends you a message, the chatbot responds on your behalf in such a way that it even responds way smarter and faster than you would. So you can focus on more important activities in your business. You can focus on maybe learning something new. You can focus on having one-on-one meetings with your customers or your clients, and then allow the chatbot to handle everything that has to do with FAQ, right? So as I round up, I'm sure right now there are certain questions in your mind. Question number one, you'd be like, okay, so I have 5 opportunities currently that I can explore. How do I know the exact one to focus on? Probably may have that question. And that question you have in your mind is, I've been setting goals since January, but I've not been sticking to it. Question in your mind now will be, so how do I set a goal for September in such a way that it is different from every other month that I've set a goal? Another question that will be in your mind is maybe saying to yourself, I know what to focus on, but then there are other important projects that need my time, energy, attention. So, how can I manage my time in such a way that nothing suffers? Another question that will be in your mind is, how can I learn to say no? Another question that will be in your mind is, how can I gain clarity on exactly what I want? And how do I know exactly what I need to do to get there? You see, if you had or if you have any of these questions at all in your mind, then I totally understand. And those questions are valid, right? Um, I created this tool for business owners and career professionals that have a side business they want to scale, and it's called the Planning and Execution Toolbox. So it's a tool that would help business owners gain clarity in terms of their assignments, gain clarity in terms of what they need to do now, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis to help them achieve their goals. And then the toolbox also contains optimization systems to help you iterate and look at what you've done within the week and find out, okay, how do I need to improve this system to do better next week? This is exactly what makes successful business owners different from the average business owner. And this month I'm challenging you to go the extra mile, to ask yourself more intentional questions, right? To do the needful. Many times execution or action is easier than the thinking process. For some persons, it's easy for them to think than to act, but you want to be that business owner that finds balance. You want to be that business owner that finds balance. So let me drop a link to that what's it called, the toolbox, for anybody that is interested. You have a question in your mind. By the way, if you have any question, you can drop that question on chat box. Let me just know that you're following. Let me know that you are following. Just give me a second. What's this thing? Give me a second. Guys, nobody's saying anything in the chat box. Chat box. If you know you have any of those questions that I talked about, just type I on the chat box. Type I on the chat box. Tap I on the chat box. And then, by the way, this is a new month and we have our 10x productivity club coming up for the month of September, and we are starting next week. So if you need an execution partner, if you need a system to help you execute faster, execute smarter, execute better, then you may want to enroll into the 10x productivity club so we can hold you by the hand. We can hold you by the hand. We can hold you by the hand. Yeah, Ezekiel says I. If you know you have any of those questions in mind, how can I improve on my clarity? How can I execute better? How can I focus? Just put I on the chat box. So Ezekiel says I. So this is the tool I created. With this tool will basically answer all your questions. You can check it out. This tool will answer all your questions. You can check it out. This tool will answer all your questions. You can check it out here. You can check it out. And then if you want to join the 10x Productivity Club, where we'll hold you accountable to execute and double your income within the next 30 days, you can also take advantage of it. Let me just drop a link for you. Let me drop a link for you. Let me drop a link for you so you can enroll. Let me drop a link for you so you can enroll. Guys, this month we need to double our income. And the truth is, anybody can double their income. All you need is an execution partner. And I'm here for you. If you feel like, Carlos, I need somebody to hold me accountable, that's my job. As a growth strategist, I'm not only going to hold you by the hand, I'm also going to ensure that I break down that very big goal into chunks that you can act on a daily basis to ensure you hit your goals. A lot of people know what they want, but they don't know how to get there. That's what I help business owners do. So if you're on this call, you're a business owner and you want to double your income this September, you can just click any of the link. So this is what I'm going to do. If you get the planning and execution toolbox right now, I'm going to give you free subscription for the month of September to join the 10x Productivity Club. Now, the 10x Productivity Club is a subscription club where clients pay 15,000 per month. But if you get the planning and execution toolbox, I'm going to give you free subscription for this month of September and we'll hold you accountable, right? So you can just click the link. If you have any question, please, you can ask your question. You can ask your question. If you have any question as we wrap up, you can ask your question as we wrap up. We are wrapping up. Thank you so much for joining. If you got value from today's session, you can just let me see your feedback. You can drop a fire emoji. Let me just do a recap. So one of the things I shared, why business owners fail at execution, I said no depth, inability to explore one opportunity at a time. Another point I mentioned was inability to say no. When you can't say no to people that are important to you, so you can focus on what is important to you, then you may end up failing at execution. Am I saying you shouldn't help others? No. What I'm saying is you can help people, but make sure it is not at the detriment of your own project, at the detriment of what you're building, right? Then number three, I said lack of clarity. When you know what you want, but it is not clear enough for you to act on, you feel at execution. When you know what you want, but you don't know how to get there, becomes a challenge also, right? So finally, I shared three systems to put in place. I said you need a clarity system, you need an execution system, and you need an optimization system. A clarity system to help you decide what matters, an execution system to help you create a weekly and a daily reading for execution, and an optimization system for reflection and iteration. Because we live in a very fast-paced world. We learn something new every day, and when we act on it, chances are that you need to make changes. So the faster you make changes to your execution flow, the more you get closer to doubling your income, the more you get closer to getting it right and doing what needs to be done. So does anybody have any question? Any question? Any question as we wrap up? All right. Since we do not have any other question, I'm not going to delay this live stream anymore. I want to appreciate each and every one of you for staying till the end. I'm going to host an AI edition of this business growth webinar on the 29th of September, where I'll be bringing up an AI automations expert to share how business owners can make use of AI to double their income within a certain period of time, and also save costs and handle repetitive tasks. Okay, so I'll be dropping updates on either my WhatsApp channel or my WhatsApp status on Instagram or Facebook. Just ensure you follow me across all of these platforms to stay updated. Until we meet again, my name is Carlos and I am your growth and execution partner. Have a beautiful week ahead.